dinners are designed to bring the country and the urban areas together so we can work together and enjoy each other's livelihoods and not be the farmers and the other people. That didn't work too good. We tried that out in the 80s and 90s where even the media was busting our ass all the time. Chef Sean's catering talents are a wonderful way to savor the fresh farmed fruits and vegetables, which, at this point in the game, there's hard to find. You can't grow so much stuff in the wintertime without using these gigantic greenhouses, which just suck up so much fuel that there's no money left in the money. There's no money left in producing the product. We want to be your go-to farm and your go-to farmer so that we can work together on this whole project of giving you supply. You need the fresh fruits and vegetables. You know that. It's where we fail as a nation of people who we spend a lot of time eating the wrong foods. Even I do. I'm surrounded by good foods, but I'm still eating junk. It's just one of those weaknesses we all have, I guess. Okay, what's happening down on the farm? Nothing too exciting. We had our 5th month of pruning apple trees, and we're running out of time. We've lost incredible amount of time with the low temperatures, and snow and ice, and it's really hard to get the guys to go out there every morning and put their best effort in. Now we're locked in on a date here on finishing the pruning. Well, you're going to prune. What's the problem? We don't have forever. We have till the first week of April, and then that's the week we start spraying. You cannot spray an orchard if you have brush laying between the rows of trees. You drive down through there with a tractor and a sprayer, and I will guarantee you will be out of business in 1 hour. The limbs go up inside the sprayer mechanism, sprayer belts and systems, and take the belts right off the pulleys. So we have to get all this brush that we've cut off the trees, all the limbs, put them all together, and then I go down through with a grinder and grind them all up. And that has to be done before we start spraying, and you have to start spraying in April. That's when the buds start opening, and there's just a little bit of green there. You actually have to look carefully to find that little bit of green. Well, the spores of the fungus diseases will find that little bit of green, and they're on their way. And they will ultimately destroy the leaf, and they will infect the apples too with the same problems. Let's see where I am. With grinding the brush up is fairly quick and easy. A couple days I can do it, 3 days. But raking it all out is a lot of hand work, and there's not many people want to do it, or they're so damn slow it's useless.
If anybody needs another job, let us know.
Okay, for a change of pace from our hard work and climbing up and down ladders and pruning, we have to stop every once in a while, like once a year, and learn how to grow apples. We go to school, Jeff and I, and Joe Schultz, who is our main production specialist. We go to a 2-day fruit school, and they keep moving it further and further away. It used to be in Orange County, and then I went to New Paltz, and then I went to Kingston. Now it's in Albany. So instead of maybe 50 fruit schools all over the state, there's going to be 3. That's for the convenience of all the high-priced professors we have. It's no longer called fruit school, by the way. It's now called the Fruit and Vegetable Conference. Very sophisticated, professional now. And I went to the first fruit school in 1958 when I got out of the college and 16 months in an army tour of Korean rice paddies. Did you know when you go through a rice paddy and you raise from one level to the other and you go through with a truck dead on, you know what happens? It takes the spare tire right off of the bottom of the truck, which is really handy when you need it. The rice paddy. In 1958, we were down to just one fruit school in Orange County. There'd been two up till then. Shows you how many growers we had. There's like 15 growers in Warwick area alone. I'm going to do this the next time around. Next meeting, I'm going to go through all the orchards that have been wiped out in this county since I started. It's kind of sad. Anyway, the two meetings per county now is down to one meeting in Albany for, actually it'll be three in the whole state. So Western New York is a very special area. They get their own, that's where Geneva is, that's where all the professors are, and they get first class treatment there. We're this orchard and Warwick area, we're considered the outer limits of how far they'll travel. Except for one exception, they will go all the way to Bridgehampton, Long Island, 4.5 hours further than we are, for a visit to the apple growers down there. Just happened to be right on the beach. For a nice weekend. We'll take care of all those fruit farmers down there. One of my good friends, John Halsey, he has all 15 acres down there right on the beach. And they love him. He does everything the way they tell him to do it because he's an old potato grower. He doesn't know any better.
Or you get in trouble when John hears this.
John, you gotta get John up here someday. Anyway, in the old days, there's always 2-day deal. The first day was called Scab Day, and the second day was called Bug Day, or Bug Day, or Bug Professor, or Scab Professor. And basically, we're talking about the same problems. Yeah, the fungus diseases are just an everlasting curse, and we didn't have enough bugs. We've got a couple new ones here. Black stem borer. How about that guy? He gets in all those nice little young trees and bores a hole, and then plants a toxic material in there, and the tree slowly dies. What the hell's the matter with this thing, you know? You get down with it. You almost need a magnifying glass to find the hole where he drilled into the tree. And that reminds me of my father when they first came up here in 1910. I think my father got here about 1913 out of 8th grade. One of his first jobs was to go out into the orchard. He took a wire, and you found these holes on the side of the butt of the tree, the trunk of the tree. You stuck the wire in until you stabbed the worm, and you pulled them back out. How about a great job, huh? Then we have this mammariated stink bug.
Oh, everybody hates the stink bug.
You know about stink bugs, probably. Anyway, this is a special guy. He'll destroy just about any crop that's ever been invented. You never know when they're going to strike. They can wipe you out in a matter of days. They're bad, and they haven't gotten anything that really controls them. They get the late apples. The first crop they'll destroy on this farm is the Crispins, that nice big green apple, and they'll put all those little marks on the bottom of it. Yeah, That's really helpful. Um, The different lectures we have range through a lot of stuff. Usually we have a review of the new chemicals that come along. They come along at a price of about $50 million worth of government research before they can be accepted. And meanwhile, Europe has already passed them 10 years ago and they're using them. Well, that doesn't mean anything, does it? That's just, it's an L. Okay, next page. So, I'm going to give you some of the a rough idea of what a fruit school is like. And one of my favorites is I was hoping to get here tonight a professor who is in charge of all the fungus diseases, and his favorite lecture is on fruit rots. Very pleasant, right? There are three really bad rots that we get in apples. One of them is black rot, another one's bitter rot, and another one's white rot. They're all a function of wet weather at almost any time of the year. Black rot will get started right after bloom. Some of them will get started late in the summer, like white rot, and then the bitter rot is particularly bad. Now, when I'm picking out, all the apples that go in the cider, by the way, go by me, nobody else. And I see all this stuff, and I have to pick it out. And it's amazing the range of severity from one year to next on this bitter rot. It's like a bullseye. It's a big red circle, and starts off really small for it, and it grows as the season goes on. And this time of the year, of course, we have when we grade out the fruit, right, that came right off the tree, we have quite a lot of waste. It's part of the game, and but we don't raise the prices to compensate for the waste, and we don't compensate for the extra money that we spent for all these special storages. So you got a pretty good deal on late apples. We've got a lot of money in them, and it's the same price as they were in September. The bitter rot is, I know a grower over in Westtown, he has a small orchard, and he has a tremendous problem with this, and I don't think he realizes it's because he's leaving a lot of the brush debris that was cutting off during pruning, basically the new wood, the sucker wood that was cut off, 20-year-old wood. And it's just a stem. It has, it's just straight like a pencil, only it can be from this long to this long. And he's not getting these things out from under the tree, and they're the host for this rot that now gets into the next crop. All right, that's one of the lectures. And then we had Peter Janice, Professor Peter Janice, who started, I've retired three generations of professors from Cornell. He's retiring. He started in the 80s. That's a long time ago. A lot of these guys are good, though. They retire, but they come to work every day because they don't know anything better, They keep right on working on fungus diseases like it's a lot of fun, Now they have Art and Arnello, who's a real good boy. He talked about San Jose scale. Well, there's a fancy sounding bug, isn't it? San Jose scale, California, but it really came from the Far East. And he's talking about the different chemicals, different methods of killing this thing, and my father listened to the same lectures, and they probably weren't any better. There was no really new knowledge involved between then and now. Then we get into cultural things. We have, Jeff can tell you about tree roll volume, right, Jeff? You actually, instead of trying to figure out how many gallons of spray you need to cover an acre, you actually calculate the volume of the trees in that acre, and now you know exactly. This is called precision farming. And it's really great when the wind doesn't blow, and then the rest of the time it's a waste of time. So, you know, the real world. Let's see, what other, we have some regulations. There's a lot of time spent on all the new regulations. They want us to know exactly. It's almost like these people enjoy shoving this stuff down our face year in, year out. And now we're into a brand new category of shoving regulations, and it's called safety down at the farm. Food safety. Why don't they go to the hospitals and talk about keeping patients alive?
Check my desk.
I don't remember killing anybody with a farm, but they kill people in hospitals every day. Have you read the latest thing about saline solutions? No, you haven't. They estimate, there's one group of doctors want to do away with saline solutions. They estimate 40,000 patients a year are dying from this stuff. Well, why would you be pumping that into them? Oh, that's what we've always done. How about getting a different thing? Oh, it costs too much. And they come down here and bust our ass? Sharon's going to tell you about it. It's going to be fine.
We're trying to find the binder.
Are you ready to go, Sharon?
No, because I'm over here. Omni, come sit and do this.
Sharon went to school so she could be a certified farm safety, food safety expert.
Food safety and modernization and modernization.
We're certified on so many things. I should walk around with all these medals. Certified forklift operator, certified pesticide applicator, certified tractor operator.
There's the binder.
Isn't that going to be fun?
It's a lot of pages in the binder. If anybody wants to study up and let me know if they want to take over this assignment, feel free. It's big. There's a lot of stuff in here.
No, thank you.
Oh,
Like
how about-
literally where you have to do water testing and do tests and get them to the lab in a certain amount of time, and there's only like 2 labs in the whole state that do this test that the feds want you to do. And it's just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So they delayed the water rules, thank God, but it's coming. And it's like literally, it's just a giant pile of paperwork because,
And it's a giant fun.
yeah.
Labs do not test water for nothing.
No, yeah, no, it's money.
A
It's money
simple
too that we won't
chlorine
recoup,
test
for
for the
sure.
cider mill
So.
water is $38 4 times a year. You know how long it takes them to do this? About 10 seconds. They drop a solution in there, it turns a color, bingo, it's okay. $38, please. And now we're going to be doing samples of all the water we use on the farm.
Yeah.
By the way, they want to know exactly how much water we have and how much we're using. Now, why do you suppose they want to know that? Because sooner or later, it's going to be like California. They want to own all the water, and they will decide who gets it. This is the way it is in California now. Any questions? I can handle them, I think. Let's go to them. Come on, there's got to be some questions here.
Farm questions. Come on, you guys.
Oh, if you want to come next month, we got a whole, I'm going to get a story in on fire blight at the same time.
Our Cornell guy is coming next month.
Yeah, Dr. Rosenberg,
Yeah.
he's our scab man for the last 40 years, I guess. He
Are
won't
you gonna
quit.
start picking with gloves?
Oh, God.
Stop it.
Any questions on anything?
We're just going to ignore that one.
Art, last year was a big boom crop,
Yeah, here it is.
and now this year,
We're gonna be short.
it's gonna be short.
That's what apple trees do to you.
Why is that?
You overload them, they take a year off. They're not stupid.
That's just how it's gonna be.
Since the beginning of time, an apple tree wants to do one thing, make seeds, reproduce. Puts 10 billion apples on the tree, makes 10 billion seeds, and the following year it doesn't have enough energy to make any. There's no apples. My annual school. The science of pomology has been fighting this since day one, trying to get trees to bloom every year, to produce every year. It's a lot more money being made with apples every year than once every 2 years.
Are you standing way over there?
So a big part of this was solved in the late 30s by a Professor Hoffman at
Good name,
Cornell.
good name.
He's one of the few in the world that went to the trouble of testing about anything he could find. He sprayed on apple trees to try to take off a high enough percentage so the tree would have fruit the following year. So you wouldn't believe the things he sprayed apple trees with. Clorox, anything he could get a hold of, he would spray it, some apple trees with it to see what happened. And he happened onto a miserable little harmless acid called naphthalene acetic acid, which is easy to make, but it's very expensive, of course, when we buy it, which took a pretty good percentage of the tree, the fruit off the tree, if put on at the right time, if at the right temperature, if at the right conditions, it would take a percentage of the apples off, and you would have apples the following year. And we're still fighting this battle. And unfortunately, we're into some varieties like Jonagold. Oh, Northern Spine's been around forever. That are very tricky. You can thin them. You thin them a little too much, and the following year you have a good crop, but it's a little bit more than you wanted. So the next year you cut back a little bit. And then that year, there's just enough apples so they don't come out right. They get too big. You know about too big apples, right? We've got them here, like these Johnagolds. They're absolutely huge. It's so hard to get these things on a full crop each year at a reasonable size. They want to go small, super large, large crop, small crop. So these things really, this is a fantastic apple, but it just busts our ass. You know, this is a fantastic eating apple. I don't know if you've ever had one. You should try these new apples. This isn't a new apple, by the way. It's been around 30 years now. Anyway, you want to bake an apple, pour this, you can skin on, and put some maple syrup in the cavity and bake it. It is fantastic. But this thing just gives us so much trouble for the amount of apples we get off. And you know, at times you wonder if it pays its way. We can't spray it, take care of it, do everything. It's hard to prune too. And come up with something that isn't going to make any money. And we're getting more of these apples that are very hard and thin, like Fuji's will give you a hard time, Gold Rush, impossible. And Rayburns, yeah, they're working with a little Iris, easy as they come. Empires are easy, Macs are easy. Crispins are, again, this problem of too big on the off year and not quite right on the small year. John Max is almost impossible to thin. Red Delicious are not too bad. Goldens, you throw the book at them to get them off. This is one of the things we're up against. I tell you is the correct phrase now instead of thinning? It's,
I can't remember either.
crop load,
Management, probably.
crop load what?
It's not management.
Crop load management, I guess that's, we're supposed to use that instead of thinning. I don't know if thinning means something much to you. I don't know what it means to you. Crop load management means we're trying to put the right number of apples on the tree for that particular year. And you can have what you think is perfect crop load management, it may be a little on the heavy side like this year, and then it doesn't rain and you wish you taken more off, a lot more off. It's a drought, you cannot carry the load of fruit. This year, we had this incredible load of fruit, plus the right weather, and we came out with this huge crop. And I knew it was gonna be a buster right from day one, and it was. I got into this one of the other meetings. I probably
Any
ought to stop
other
here. Anybody got any questions?
Questions? We've got one from the floor
Shoot.
here.
What is your favorite apple?
Pardon?
What is your favorite apple?
Oh, Johnny Gold's are right up there. I eat them all. They all have their own, offerings for flavor. You get the apple at its peak. Some apples peak out early, like galas. They're as good as they get the first day, but by this time of year, they're nothing. Just flat. That's why we don't try to grow too many. Fuji's Gold Red Delicious, late in the season before they really come up with that full flavor. I don't know what's involved in that process. Gold Delicious good anytime. Backs are good anytime. Empires, Ida Reds, you gotta wait them out. This apple keeps forever, and seems like the later it gets, the better it tastes. Wonderful apple too. That's what my daughter uses for all the time, cider Reds. That cover it?
I think so. We're plating.
Anybody else?
I've been driving by this orchard for years. How many trees are out there?
Oh, there's about 3,500 trees. So, it takes a half an hour to do a tree. Do the numbers, you can see why we're busy for 6 months, 5 months straight. Big job, hard work.
The last couple of years, you haven't had any trouble with bears? I mean, it seems like the bears are...
There's some bears around here. The deer everlasting problem, we have them under control. Bears, they can raise hell with lives. Take care of them. Bunch of lives. Oh, that's a favorite question. My favorite answer is we have a tree right across the road right in front of my house. It's 100 years old this year. We know it for a fact. We're gonna have a little plaque out there, a little celebration, and then, what month are we gonna do this year?
I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. Probably November.
There's an old English tradition where you go out in what time did they
That's
do it?
in January
Yeah, they did.
with sales.
It's a little different in January in England than it is here. A little more modern. Anyway, they would go out and celebrate the fact that this tree, this apple tree, had given them all this fruit, which they made hard cider out of, and now they were gonna get drunk with it. That's my kind of celebration. Anyway,
Great, it's called a sale.
we're gonna try to reproduce this. Maybe we'll have pizza along with it.
Yeah.
It's a hard cider. Anyway, that's a Macintosh tree. My grandfather planted in 1918, Armistice Day. That's how long, back a very long tree. They delicious. They, 6 years old, they're dead. I don't know what other variety of tree, Reds are good. I planted some in 59 and cut them down now, that isn't bad, you know? 1959 till now. I would say Macs are probably the strongest thing for a long life.
All right.
A lot depends on a whole lot of other things that happen to it during its lifetime.
Before you take it off.
You gotta like warn us there. Ah. All right, we're wrapping up.
Okay, we're gonna
Sorry.
say bye.
Bye.